If I were to start this video just by holding up a sheet of blank paper, it said nothing on it. Do I even have one here? Hey, let me see if this one's blank. Just looking over my side here. I want to make sure I'm not... Yeah, okay, this is a blank piece of paper. Say I hold this up. Any of you out there who have even the slightest bit of a cheeky sense of humor and the barest amount of photo editing skills could put anything you want on that piece of paper. Any slogan, any profane or prejudiced statement, anything nonsensical. Again, this is just the tiniest bit of a quirky sense of humor and very minimal photo editing skills. On the weekend, I began seeing members of the federal government. There were others doing this, but a series of members of the Canadian federal government. I didn't look comprehensively at this, but it was at least 3 or 4 federal Liberal cabinet ministers, plus some Conservative MPs as well. They're holding up a sheet of paper that says, "Stand with Ukraine." All right, I support the cause. I think we should stand with Ukraine. I think there is more we should be doing to stand with Ukraine. I think the Ukrainians are probably going to need the help. There are 2 immediate points I would want to make, though. If you are a senior politician and you are going out of your way to hand people the opportunity to make mocking memes at your expense, you're not very good at this. Once upon a time, not all that long ago, we would have thought of the Liberals as actually being pretty good at social media. You know, Justin Trudeau always being accused of being the selfie prime minister. Typically, they weren't actually selfies, though. Typically, they were actually people taking pictures of him. But I digress. The Liberals were quite good early on at using social media in this way. I think they've become overly dependent on this. I think they've kind of become characters of themselves, and I also don't think it's working as well anymore. But once upon a time, they were good at that. When you send out Harjit Sajjan holding up a sheet of paper, that is one slight Photoshop away from saying anything anybody wants, you are losing your edge at the social media game. However, I actually want to set that aside. That's more the minor point here. The bigger point is this. I want to set that stuff aside. The bigger point is that this is all part of the memification of our politics, where our political class is increasingly engaging in social media war against each other, and outcomes at the government level, I don't know, maybe we'll get around to those. It is very easy to find examples of Canadian governments falling flat on their face about actually accomplishing the goals they have set for themselves on time and on budget, if they even ever accomplish them at all. But in the meantime, there will be very high rates of social media engagement as the various participants and their proxies send out memes and tweets and video clips and viral content. This stuff used to be a component of the politics. And I'm not a purist about this. I'm not, missing some fictitious, better utopian prior era. This kind of stuff, the communications, the so-called air war, right, used to be an annoying part of our politics. I'm not convinced that it has grown, but I think all the other stuff in our politics, like the actually having a philosophy, having an ideology, having coherent plans you have a reasonable expectation of enacting, has withered and died. And instead, we get cabinet ministers and opposition MPs holding up photos that say, "I stand with Ukraine," instead of having a military that is capable of standing with Ukraine, or having a foreign aid plan for Ukraine that is actually going to give them all that they could possibly ask for. Instead of having really tough conversations about vulnerabilities in our logistics, our supply chains, our food supply, food affordability in this country, which is a growing problem for many, especially as inflation heats up, we have participants in our federal politics tweeting pictures of either empty shelves or stock photos with badly edited, typo-ridden in the case of one Conservative MP. And then we have other Liberal MPs going, "Actually, my downtown Ottawa grocery store is full of food." And then belatedly realizing that, sorry, that wasn't an MP, that was a staffer, but belatedly realizing that that was actually grotesquely stupid and then deleting the tweet. We are not led by serious people. This is a time for serious people because we have serious challenges. What do we get? Do we get answers? Do we get debates? Do we get substantive conversations? No. We get, memes.